You're right.
Okay, hello, welcome. We are live from the London Buddhist Centre this evening. I'm just going to see how many of you are with us already. We've got a few minutes before we start.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
12 people watching.
How many?
12 people.
12 people. Hello, great. Nice to see you all in my mind's eye, even if I can't see you literally. My name's Shradagita, and I'm going to be leading this evening. It's really nice to see you. We've still got a few minutes before the class starts, so feel free to get if you've got any cushions you want to sit on. We are going to be doing some meditation, so you might want to collect those just now. Yeah, and anything else you might need, a blanket or shawl or something like that.
Paul's saying good evening, Paul Perrin.
Hello, Paul. Nice.
From Sidcup.
From Sidcup.
Yeah.
I used to live in Sidcup many years ago when I was a student. So, hello, Sidcup. Hello, Paul. Great, you're here. Yep. Anyone here from further afield? I know people are tuning in from near and far, so anyone from anywhere other than London?
Alvin Monte is saying hi from Deptford.
From Deptford? Ah, great. Hello, Deptford. Hello to you and welcome.
Paul said you're welcome. Ipswich.
Ipswich.
Smith.
Hooray, Ipswich.
Sam Smirren from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Wow, South Africa. We've gone completely global. Hello, welcome.
Yeah, Brigitte Hildenbrand from Essen, Germany.
Ah, hello.
2 years
Essen.
ago, she's met you before.
Ah, Brigitte. Hello, Brigitte from Essen. Yeah, we met on a Taraloka retreat. How lovely to see you again.
And we have Untitled Chapter from Cyprus.
Wow, someone from Cyprus as well. Fantastic. Hello and welcome. Wow, so it's filling up. I'm imagining you all starting to fill up this room, the LBC Shrine Room, which we're streaming from this evening. At the moment, there's just 3 of us here, but you're also here. We can't literally see you, but we are imagining you here. So, yeah, really warm welcome.
And Shirley from Woodford Green.
Woodford Green, closer to home.
Nina Allen from New York.
Wow, hello Nina from New York.
Lauren Tavener from Colchester.
Colchester, hello Laura. Wow, this is great, isn't it? Probably a few time differences as well. My friend Sadishwari, who's at the moment in Australia, she's been tuning into some of the yoga classes, but she's normally going to bed as they're starting. So she always says night night, and then she goes off to bed and then watches it the next day. So some of you, the time difference will be, quite, well, different. It's 7 p.m. almost here. So what time is it in South Africa?
Dougie Robertson says greetings from Hackney. Oh, you're Hackney.
Hello, Dougie.
Really appreciate what those is doing at this time.
Yeah, it's great. We are, in case you don't know, we are doing live classes every evening at 7 p.m, Monday to Friday. And we're also doing yoga classes on Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon. So all of those things are available to tune into. The yoga's great to tune into if you're working at home or if you're working elsewhere, and you just need a half an hour of a bit of physical exercise between emails, then I'd really recommend that. And also the 7 p.m. classes, can be another thread of connection in your day. So yeah, I recommend tuning in when you can.
Brian Romain, back again.
Hello, Brian.
And Jenny Castleman, hello.
Hello, Jenny. Yeah, I think I've seen some of the names appearing on quite a few of the live streams I've been watching. So yeah, I've followed a few as well. So really nice to see you.
And Faye Wilson's here as well. I think I'll stop. Macho Bandu.
Hello, Maitreya Bandhu.
See you, Shradagita. Lizzie Ronnie.
Hello, Lizzie. Wow. Okay. 7 o'clock. It's time. So, as I said in the last few minutes, for those of you that have just joined, welcome to the London Buddhist Centre live stream of the Tuesday class. My name is Shradagita, and I'm really pleased to be here this evening. We are doing live streaming every evening, Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. So, yeah, you can tune in any night that you can. And also we're live streaming yoga twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 noon. So a really good thing to do in the middle of your day. Okay, so before we start, I want to introduce you to the crew here, and I really appreciate having two crew tonight. So I've got Yana Daya and Guillaume. Guillaume is behind the camera, and I'm particularly appreciative because I recently had to do a bit of behind the camera of a yoga stream, and I felt this kind of panic that something might happen, a responsibility. So I'm really glad it's not me behind the camera tonight, and I'm glad it's Guillaume. So Guillaume's going to come and say hello, give a little wave.
Hello.
And then I've got Yana Daya, who is keeping an eye on all of you as you type in comments, questions, etc. So Yana Daya is going to come and say hello, and I'm really glad he's here too.
Hello.
Okay, so this evening, well, I'm going to be talking this evening about cultivating beauty and appreciation. Or appreciative awareness, and it seems to me even more crucial that we do try and cultivate beauty and appreciative awareness in this difficult time. And I'm going to start with three little vignettes or images, if you like. So the first one is from probably a few days before we heard that we were going to have to stay in a lot more and, you know, basically only come out for essential things. So I was walking in Victoria Park with my partner. It was a beautiful Wednesday evening and the sun was shining. The park was full with lots and lots of people. And, you know, I think lots of people were out because they knew in a way what was coming. So they were making the most of the sun. And we walked past one of my favourite trees, which is a magnolia tree. And the magnolia tree was in full bloom, very, very beautiful, full of pink flowers. And as I walked past the tree, first of all, I noticed the tree and the flowers. And then I noticed there was a man in the magnolia tree towards the top of the tree. And he was drawing or painting, maybe drawing and painting the tree. And I felt really happy seeing this man because he was totally absorbed in the magnolia-ness of the magnolia. And I felt my heart kind of lift, and I just felt glad that someone was absorbing themselves like that in beauty. So the second little vignette is noticing on the BBC News site that David Hockney, the English painter, is at the moment in lockdown in Normandy. He's bought a house in Normandy and he is painting the arrival of spring. So he has shown a few of his iPad drawings and paintings. And again, there's this sense of him being really absorbed in beauty and nature and the arrival of spring. And the pictures are just stunning, just stunningly beautiful. And that reminded me a little bit of knowing that the other French painter that I was thinking about was Claude Monet, because during the First World War, he painted at Giverny, and he particularly painted his garden, and he also painted this weeping willow tree. And one of the reasons that he painted that was that it was a way of him working with or processing the grief that he felt during that time. So I've always found that very moving. So then seeing that David Hockney in a way was doing a similar thing, I found very touching. And then the third thing is myself walking, this time alone, during this period of the lockdown. And I'm fortunate enough to live near the River Thames. So I've been walking there a lot in the evening when it's quiet. And last Friday evening, I had my binoculars and I was looking at the river. And suddenly I saw a lone swan flying low across the water, flying the length of the river. And the light caught the wings of the swan, and I could hear the flapping of the wings, and I could hear the Thames water lapping at the shore. And I felt completely absorbed in that experience for a few minutes. It's very, very beautiful. So, yeah, those are 3 little vignettes that I wanted to share with you, and I'm sure you have your own experiences of beauty at the moment. Beauty seems even more crucial to me, and I think that beauty can really help us when we are in the unknown. It can relieve some stress and worry about the future. It can help us stay present to our experience. And it can also reveal the truth of life, which in a way beauty is always showing us, nature is always showing us the truth of impermanence, which is one of the essential, if not the essence of the Dharma teaching. So, yeah, I think at the moment, with us not being able to go out so much, it's like the quantity of what we normally take in outside, if we go outside, isn't there. We've just got the quality. So I think our walking outside, our so-called exercise, has become even more important because it's an opportunity to look and see things. And some of you might not be able to do that just now. You might have to stay home. But maybe you've started to really look at objects in your house or in your garden, or you have looked at something out of the window. And that's another way of doing this same kind of appreciative awareness, appreciation of beauty, and appreciation of what's outside us. And I think that also helps us to, well, I'm going to use some words of Maitreya Bandhu actually, because I was looking at his book, Life with Full Attention. And I was thinking that book seems even more important now as well, because we really do need to live our lives with full attention. And one of the things that he says is that nature and beauty can help to extend the circumference of our awareness. And I really like that. It can kind of extend that circumference, that circle of awareness, to include both the inner and the outer, to include obviously self and world. So I live on my own. Probably most of the people who've been live streaming, I was realizing, live in communities, and some of them have been talking about some of the challenges of that. So the challenges of living with other people in a small space. But I thought I'd say a little bit about the challenges of living on your own during a lockdown. So, well, sometimes I definitely feel I get cabin fever because I'm in a smallish flat. I have a balcony, but you know, it's just a few rooms really, and I definitely feel that sense of cabin fever sometimes. And sometimes I've felt a bit lonely. I've been trying to be creative with that. So I have lots of online connection, which is great, but there's something about actually talking to a physical person, which makes a huge difference. So my neighbour Mangala, and I have been talking to each other from our balconies, and that's been just wonderful, actually. He lives one floor down from me and one flat along. So we've been having these 30-minute balcony chats, which has felt great. Are we okay?
I'm just going to check something with the song. You can carry on.
Okay, I'll carry on. So he's been talking to me from balcony, and I've been talking to him from my balcony. So that's been great. But I've also noticed that I really need to step into intimacy.
I think, sorry to interrupt, I think Kesa keeps touching the mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's quite okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sorry. I think I've been maybe doing something that's affected the sound, so I don't know where you lost me, but anyway, hopefully I'm back again now and you can hear me again. So I was talking about living on my own and getting creative in terms of talking to a neighbour from my balcony. And I was also thinking that I could end up feeling isolated and lonely, but I found that going for walks, connecting with beauty and appreciation helps me step into a sense of an intimacy with the world and also with the people in it. And I often also bring poets to mind. So I was thinking about the poet Ryokan, who lived as a hermit. And one of the things that he said was, it may seem that I have locked myself away from the people of this world, but why is it that I never cease to think of them? So even though I'm living on my own, I definitely have a sense of what's happening in the world, and I feel connected with people. And yeah, that's been really important. In fact, I've been very moved by some of the stories that I've been reading about people during the pandemic that we're in, some of the stories of doctors. In fact, I've been moved to tears. It's like my heart feels very tenderized by what's been happening. Yes, so I guess the other thing I wanted to say was that going out in nature, one of the things that I've noticed is I'm missing physical contact. But when I go out into nature, I feel the physical connection with the elements. So recently, I just loved feeling some rain on my skin or the sun, which is probably more enjoyable. But there was something about this rain on my skin that made me feel alive and connected and intimate with the world and with other people. There's a sharing there. And I've also found myself talking to the moon. So the moon is growing full, and that made me think of another poem, which is, I'm not sure who it's by, but it says something like, "The moon is a friend for the lonesome to talk to." So I really like that as well. So those are some of the things that I've been sort of thinking about in terms of appreciative awareness and beauty, and just how important they are for all of us at this time. And so we're going to do some meditation in a minute, and I'm going to guide us through that. And in it, we'll be sort of trying to cultivate this sense of beauty and appreciation. So you might want to just set yourself up now to meditate. So you might want some support for your hands, your arms. You might want some cushions to sit on, obviously, or you might want to sit on a chair. That's fine as well. But do sit in a place where you feel grounded and stable, and hopefully where your feet can touch the ground, so that you feel in connection with the earth. So I'm going to close my eyes now.
It's frozen on the screen, but I'm sure people can still hear you.
Okay. I wonder if you could turn the lights down. Okay, so just going to meditate for about 20 minutes. So just first of all, letting your weight drop down into the earth, trying to feel the sitting bones in connection with the cushion, having that sense of feeling rooted like a tree. So having this sense of connection with the ground, and at the same time having a sense of the sky above you and the space all around you. So right now I'm imagining the walls of this shrine room sort of fading away, and that I'm actually sitting with all of you who are close by in Hackney or Deptford, and also further away in South Africa, Cyprus. So you could do the same if you want to, having this sense of earth beneath you, sky above, and space around you. And having a sense that you're meditating in the world with other people. You might be sitting on your own, or you might be meditating with others. But you're still sitting with a whole community of people practicing right now. And have a sense of your spine supporting you, and the space that your body takes up, the shape you're making. Maybe take a couple of deeper breaths. And on the exhale, letting yourself relax more deeply, let go into this present moment, into this space. See if you can let your face soften, particularly around the eyes and the jaw. And let your hands be soft. And just notice how you are right now. And however you are, that's okay. See if you can make some room for whatever's happening. Making enough space in your awareness for your experience. And then also notice that you're breathing. Notice the breath coming in and the breath going out. And And just starting to let your awareness gather around the breath. Maybe noticing its texture, its temperature. And see if you can listen to the breath with an appreciative ear, as if you're listening to music. Listen to the subtle sounds and rhythm of the breath. And you could use the counting device after each out-breath. You could count 1 and then breathe in and breathe out again and count 2 and go up to 10 and then back to 1 again. And that can help to anchor us in an awareness of the breath. See if you can make your awareness of the breath appreciative and warm. And if you do wander off, just notice that you've wandered off. And then just bring yourself back with patience and sensitivity. With a kindly awareness, bring yourself back to the breath that will be waiting for you. And then just connecting with the breath again. Looking for that sense of appreciative awareness. And if the appreciation feels like tiny little aspects of your experience, that's okay. You're just trying to encourage that to grow. And keep feeling the breath in the body, feeling the sensations of the breath. Keep listening to the breath. Maybe there's an image of the breath that's becoming vivid for you. Just let yourself explore that. And at the same time, keep feeling the physical sensations. And you could let go of the counting now, if you're using the counting. And just letting the awareness rest on the whole body breathing. The movements and sensations of the breath. And then starting to broaden out your awareness. Just letting go of trying to focus on the breath. Just sitting for a few moments in awareness, absorbing the meditation. Perhaps reflecting on anything you noticed or learnt, or anything that was interesting to you. Okay. How's that? Okay.
There's a bit of delay with the image, so I have to wait until I can hear you from here.
Okay. Okay, so just giving yourself a bit of time to come out of the meditation. You don't have to sit in meditation now, so you can stretch your legs. And yeah, I'd be quite interested to just hear from any of you, any reflections you might have had about the meditation or anything I said earlier, or around this theme of beauty and appreciative awareness. You might have questions or just your own comments and reflections.
Alex said it was very peaceful.
That's good. Yeah, we probably all need a bit of peace just now. Sometimes it takes a little while just to, come out of meditation, doesn't it? And sort of get into that sort of talking mode again. I certainly find that myself. So yeah, just take your time, give yourselves time to, just get into a different mode if you want to.
I've got a comment from Phil saying beauty is an abundance in nature.
Yep, it is. It can be, for sure, yeah. I'm guessing that might be your experience, Phil. Yeah, maybe you too have been out enjoying spring.
And then Faye says she liked it when you said listen to the voices, you listen to music.
Listen to the breath, as if you're listening to music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we listen to the breath, it's a bit more like a minimal symphony. Um, Often we don't really hear the breath, or we don't really listen to it, and the breath gives us a lot of information, doesn't it, about ourselves, maybe our states of mind. Often they're mirrored by the breath. So it's a good idea to listen to the breath, but yeah, with that sort of appreciative ear, as if we are listening to music. Yeah, someone like, I was thinking of minimal musicians, Philip Glass, Arvo Pärt, maybe Guillaume might have some others, he's a musician, but anyway, that sort of minimal symphony can be very beautiful to listen to. It's like when our experience is pared down a bit and we get more absorbed in the breath, then it can become like our music. But often all the other things that are loud in our head can take over and they can become our background music. But if we tune into the breath, which is more subtle, of course, and harder to sort of get absorbed in some ways, but when we do, it's really rewarding, and it can be very beautiful.
There's a few more comments about the breath. Lizzie's saying that recognising the breath is very pleasurable, I guess, from meditation. And Anna, that liking the fact the breath is always there for us.
Yeah. The breath is always there to come back to. Yeah, a bit like a friend. I was talking about the moon being like a friend for the lonesome to talk to. And I think also the breath can be a friend, or like a friend for us to come back to, because the breath's been with us since the day we were born, and it's going to be there till the day we die. So it's our companion really in life. So it's crucial to make, well, I think, to make that sort of connection with the breath. Each moment the breath is giving us a fresh lung full of air. And so, yeah, it's giving us a gift of life.
Good. We've got Anna Perez saying thank you. And then Anna Howard would like some advice on noisy neighbours on Sunday. Music and breath.
Noisy neighbours when you're meditating, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Noisy neighbours. Well, I imagine at the moment we're all much more aware of our neighbours, particularly if we live in a flat with thin walls. You can hear all sorts of sounds. Everyone's in a lot more, so we're going to be hearing a lot more sounds of our neighbours. I guess one thing I find helpful to remember is, well, yeah, there are a lot of people now at the moment in their homes. So that means I'm going to hear a lot more sound from my neighbours. I'm going to hear their TV, I'm going to hear their music much more often than I normally do. In fact, before having spent so much time at home, I could say that I hardly heard my neighbours, but now I've been hearing mine a bit more too. So I guess I find it helpful to anticipate that, so that when I'm meditating, it doesn't jar me or sort of affect me too much. It's like I'm anticipating it, and I'm making enough space in my awareness to absorb that, to include that, because that is part of the life I'm living and the place where I'm meditating at this moment, and that feels important to just kind of acknowledge that. And well, I don't know if you've experienced meditating in the countryside sometimes, or even in ideal conditions. Sometimes little sounds can still be as annoying as big sounds, like clocks ticking can seem amplified. Owls hooting can seem, to also disturb us in a different way. But I think it's also helpful to remember that these are sounds of people just getting on with their day and doing the best they can in quite difficult situations. So it's an opportunity to feel a bit of metta towards our neighbours, I think.
If you think that one, Bridget saying that when she opened her eyes after meditation, she saw a beautiful, nearly full moon. Muge Adogma saying, lovely to see you and listen to Shri Gita. And then I've got a question from Clem, who's living alone. Do you have any advice for feeling connected to others during this time?
Yeah, definitely. So, as I said earlier, I also live alone. So, I mentioned I've been having balcony chats with my neighbours. I've also been, when I am out, I really try and notice the people that I'm walking past with, you know, or cycling past. I really try and take them in. I think about people a lot. It's like I'm aware of them in my mind, in my heart. In a way, I'm trying to see people still in my mind. I think the Metta Bhavana practice is a very good way of staying connected. You may not have learnt that practice, but it's a loving kindness practice towards all beings. So it starts with ourselves, then moves out to friends, neutral people, more difficult people, and the whole world. So that is a way of staying connected with others. And I think also just trying to feel the connections that we have. Maybe they're online at the moment, maybe they're not so physical. Mine certainly aren't as physical as they usually are. But the online thing can do something. So I guess making opportunities, if we can, to stay connected with people on the phone or on Zoom. I mean, I'm learning a lot about Zooming at the moment. And I'm appreciating technology for that very reason. It's helping me stay connected. But I guess also keep trying to step into that sense of connection and an intimacy with life, whether it's through a connection with a tree, a bird, a person. You know, try and feel that sense of connection in ways that you can.
Okay, so Anna says thank you for the advice on noisy neighbours. And Adam says that he noticed the sun coming to his flat strongly about 4:30 and creating a beautiful light. And it's nice to appreciate it. But he has a question about how can you best cultivate that kind of appreciation more often?
Well, I suppose first of all, I would say just first of all appreciate the fact that you're appreciating the light. In a way, that is enough. Sometimes I think we want more, don't we? We want quantity of experience or maybe intensity of experience, more appreciation. But actually, what you sound like you're experiencing is a quality of appreciation. And that quality, I think, leads to more of a depth of appreciation. So I would say, be content with the appreciation that you are experiencing. That in itself will allow the appreciation to spill over into other things.
Good. Okay. So we've got Shana saying mornings are special as well. We've got India just joined us.
Hello.
And also Phoenix.
Hello, Phoenix.
Arizona. Exactly USA, I can say.
Oh, wow.
And then a question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Alison's saying that these sorts of streamings help her to stay connected.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I
And,
didn't say that. These streamings stay connected.
Yeah.
At the LBC, I missed the obvious.
Yeah, and let's say that as well, like appreciating technology and finding this stuff.
Yeah. Stay connected with what is of value to you. That's the other way of staying connected. Stay connected with, these 7 o'clock sessions when you can. Try and stay connected with your own meditation practice if that's possible. Even if it's just a short sit every day, that will keep you connected with a thread. I suppose that's the important thing, to not let go of the thread of connection that you feel. Yeah.
Adam says, really great answer, thank you. And then there's a little bit of chatting going on.
Great, you're all chatting with each other. I feel like I'm getting to know you all. It's like I'm sort of imagining you all in my mind's eye, and that we're here having a little chat about these things, and I really have a sense of Sangha. I guess that's the other thing that I've been experiencing, is this real sense of Sangha with people who normally can't come to classes at the London Buddhist Centre because they live in other countries, they live in other cities. So one of the great things about the live streaming is it opens our doors, opens us to, a whole new range of Sangha people, potential people who we can connect with. So I'm really appreciative of that too. Yeah.
Got a few other things.
Okay.
Alison saying the 7 p.m. slot helps her find a structure, meaningful structure to her day.
Yeah.
And Anna also said, I love what you said about metta. It's helped a lot. Living alone. Question from Marco.
Yeah.
So while meditating, I find focusing on my natural breathing is best, but can taking deep breaths help the meditation?
Well, I think the natural breath is where we want to be, but sometimes at the beginning it can just help to take a couple of deeper breaths, I find, just to really arrive. Something about really arriving on my cushion. But I wouldn't recommend just taking deeper breaths throughout the practice. I just say breathe naturally, breathe normally. Otherwise you might become one of those annoying neighbours.
Okay, more appreciation for this slot. It's really nice to connect with Sangha.
It's great. See, appreciation amplifies appreciation, and now it's just kind of it's rippling out. So we've just created like an appreciation bhavana almost. So that's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And that can really help to sustain us. Because in a way, I suppose one of the things that this experience is pointing to, in a way, is that we're all in this same boat. We're all in the same boat together, whoever we are, wherever we are. So again, I think it's a real opportunity to see our interconnectedness with all beings, all life, whoever they are, wherever they are, whatever states of mind they're in, wherever they live. It's like what's happening is affecting everyone. So we can feel connected on that level. And, just as our life is precious to us, so too are all of the people, in the world. Their life is precious.
Quite a few people expressing gratitude, saying thank you. A couple of questions. One, actually, Phil's saying meditation in nature keeps me connected with Mother Earth, even in my small garden.
Yeah.
Shay likened the part in the earlier poem where even not seeing people doesn't remove them from existing in our minds.
Yeah. I mentioned a Ryokan poem which says, he was a hermit in Japan, and even though he lived as a hermit, I really love his life, that he always seemed connected with nature and people. So he said that even though it may seem that I have locked myself away from the people of this world, why is it that I never cease to think of them? And in another of his poems he says, when I think of the suffering in this fleeting world, floating world, not fleeting, but fleeting and floating, my sleeve is wet with tears. So that's from someone who lived on their own, but was very, connected with people.
Okay, a couple more questions coming in. They come in thick and fast.
Okay, we've only got a few more minutes to go, so we'll try and answer them.
So, first appreciate, thank you for these wonderful 7 p.m. sessions. And then, I have a tendency to control the breath during meditation and struggle to let go of this. Any tips? And can I give you the other question,
Yeah.
which is, I've been furloughed from work and feel disconnected now, which raises anxiety.
Hmm.
Do you have any tips to reduce this internal worry?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. I'll take the second question first. So, I guess, yeah, if you've been furloughed from work, it might be important to set up like a new little routine for yourself. That would seem really important, because probably our work is the place we spend most time. So, it creates a little routine for us, doesn't it? So, it might be really important to think about a routine for yourself, which might include some meditation in the morning, tuning into these live streamings at 7, yoga Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12. I'm not trying to do a big plug, well actually I am, but you know. But yeah, think about things that will nourish you and support you during this time, and try and set up a positive routine for yourself. Reading maybe, yeah, doing some work activity in your house, things you haven't got around to doing maybe, that kind of thing. And in terms of the breath and not controlling the breath, well, I guess sometimes when we're trying not to control it, we end up controlling it more in a way. Maybe what we need to do is just experience the breath as it is. And then the more we are able to relax with that, then perhaps from that there becomes, you know, a sort of natural relaxation in time. But I guess with all these things, it takes time, and what we're noticing, and what you're noticing, is probably some habits that perhaps you've developed. But those habits, you know, can slowly, you know, untangle in a way, if you like. So yeah, just notice what's happening. Try and let go a little bit if you can. And yeah, that's what I'd say. Okay. Any last?
Yeah, we've got a few Shay saying lots of phone, lots of people saying thank you. Very nice. And then a question about what connects us with nature from Charlotte 777.
Well, I guess what connects us with nature is we are nature as well, aren't we? In a way, we've grown, I guess, a little bit, in some ways, disconnected with nature. So, yeah, I think what connects us is that we are part of nature. And I guess, I suppose I've definitely been feeling that more and more over the last few weeks, that we are part of something. Yeah, which is nature. We're not separate from that. We're not somehow removed from that. Yeah, so I'll just say that for now, because I'm aware that we're starting to move towards the end, and I'd like to just pause for a moment before we end with just maybe another minute or so just to sit quietly. Perhaps just do a breathing space, and then I'm going to say a couple of things to end the class. So, yeah, you might just want to sit quietly again. And let any of those words, questions, ideas, just let them settle. Come back to a sense of a connection with your body, feeling points of contact that you have with the ground. And then feel your breath. The breath coming in, the breath going out. Feeling the sensations of the breath. And then expanding out, becoming aware, maybe some sounds around you, the whole world around you, other people, in the room you're in or outside. And then slowly opening your eyes again. So, the last thing I want to say is that here at the Buddhist Centre, a lot of people, well, tonight have been expressing a lot of appreciation and gratitude for what we've been doing, and yeah, it's been a really good way of staying connected, and we sort of operate really on a kind of dana or generosity, a culture of generosity. So we, you know, really invite you to join in with that if you're able to, if you're in a position to do so. So, yeah, this culture of generosity, you can be part of that if you'd like to. So one of the ways that you can be part of that is that you can donate to us. You could donate on a monthly basis or a single donation. And yeah, if you're able to, we'd really appreciate it, and it would really help us to keep going during these difficult times. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, and thanks a lot again to Guillaume and Yanadaya for the technical work, which I think was a bit more challenging at times tonight because of the microphone, but they stayed calm, so thanks a lot, and yeah, hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.